All right, last friends, find a seat because we are about to get started with I Love My Gay Neopets, celebrating 25 years of our favorite game.
We have 90. We have 95 slides.
Be prepared to learn. All right, so as our friends are kind of settling in, we're going to have you guys quiet down so that we can get started. Because like we said, we have 25 minutes to cover 25 years of history, plus all of the other excellent things we want to tell you. To give a quick rundown, we're going to do some introductions, give you guys run of show, introduce ourselves, and then we're just going to jump right into things. As a warning, we talk fast because we want you to learn. And by that, I mean have fun with us. So I will try to slow down my speech, but fair warning in advance, this is going to be a little rapid fire at some parts of our panel.
So this is a very special panel. We've got an inception moment here. Because Gray and I only met through both doing Neopets panels, and people kept thinking that Gray gave the panel How Neopets Taught Me to Lie and Made Me a Furry, but that was my panel.
To be fair, How Neopets Taught Me to Lie and Made Me a Furry could have been my autobiography. Like, it's picture perfect, I get it.
So we came together to do a panel together, and it's been great. We also get to talk about our other special interests, like getting in the ninth and living in... You're not in Virginia. Living near Virginia. Not anymore, but we're good.
So to give a quick run of show, we're going to again introduce ourselves. We're going to talk a little bit about the 25th anniversary year that Neopets just celebrated. Talk a little bit about Neopets culture and drama. Right, 25 years, baby! 25! Let's go! We're also going to talk a little bit about what the heck adult fans of Neopets are up to these days. This is an 18-plus panel. That does not mean we're spicy, but that does mean we can get a little spicy. We can talk a little bit about weed. We are allowed to say shit, and it makes sense for the Neopets user demographic. And at the end, we're going to have a little contest. So if you have a Neopets cosplay or a Neopets-inspired outfit, and you would like to be judged for a prize, we probably have enough prizes for many contestants, so please come show us your cool outfits. We'll do that at the end with our lovely host, Lainey.
All right. So my name is Heron. I am Yazzie on Neopets.com. Within the last year, I got a Neopets tattoo because I was like, if I actually get a UC Fairy Ixie, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get a Neopets tattoo, and then I did it. And this is done by Kingsley, who is selling in the Artist Alley, so go support him. I joined in 2002 because I was an influenceable child and my friends played Neopets. I role-played and art traded with strangers on the internet, and I drew stuff in Microsoft Paint and got art back of my characters, and it was pretty cool. I did the panels at MAGFest for Neopets on and off over the last, since 2018, the last long time. I identify as a demi-furry. I'm it's complicated. I relate to anthropomorphic content and forms of self-expression, but I'm not a part of the furry community. I think if I wore a fursuit, I would melt. It would be scary, but I respect furries. And I work at a public library and with the Makerspace and Teen Focus. I love Ixies. I did an Ixie roleplay guild, and I have an Ixie tattoo literally now. And I enjoy drawing my Neopets. You can go to the next one. Over COVID, I did a lot of panels of my Neopet, Mr. Toilet, who was an art school teacher, and then Spudfish, who was a vegetable Chia, who would do pictures of her roommate. It was complicated. And then these are my Neopets playing video games and smoking weed, some of my favorite hobbies. And I'll hand it off to Gray.
So hi, I'm Gray, they, them. I'm a lifelong Neopets enthusiast. I've been playing on and off my whole life. I think my earliest exposure to furry is to be blamed on Neopets through early DeviantArt being the artist gallery people exist elsewhere. It was mind-blowing for me. My original persona was a Dan, my favorite pet, which then ended up becoming my Dargankiri, who's kind of my favorite thing, my brand on Neopets, my most beloved. I built my fursuit over COVID because it was just Neopets and my fursuit and me during that time. I helped with the TNT virtual birthday bash, so I got to be on the internet with Neopets. That's wild. I helped out with the Baltimore birthday bash. I also have a Neopets tattoo by Kingsley here in Artist Alley. Go check him out. And I love talking about virtual pet site history, and I work in the museum sector. Neopets is not a game. Neopets is my life. Neopets is my grind. This is a spreadsheet activity. Everything is tracked, planned. I have this all down. I have full accounts. Please, TNT, I need pet slots. I will pay your rent for the next 5 years. Give me more pet slots. These are my children. And my favorite thing about Neopets and what drew me to the site is I really like to draw my pets, like the art gallery, the beauty contest, pet page apps from my fellow App Chatters 2014 shout out. This is where I really got into both digital art and Neopets itself. So this is my favorite thing about it.
And I'm Lainey. I have a little spiel later, so let's get to it.
Excellent. So for those who didn't know, Neopets just finished celebrating its 25th anniversary, as we clapped for. For those of you who weren't at our panel last year that kind of broke down things about, hey, what's the state of Neopets? Neopets had just been, so Jumpstart shuttered, we'll talk about that. Neopets went independent, we'll talk about that. And the state of Neopets was like, what's gonna be the future? What's happening next? A lot of uncertainty. NCUCs were about to come out, we didn't know much. Now, a year later, we're here to check back in and see what's changed. Number one, I think it's been a really positive year. The energy towards TNT, towards the community, has been, I think, in a really good high. We're getting regular AMAs. There was one 30 minutes ago, and I'm on my phone like, what am I supposed to tell them today? What's new? There's better communication with players. They've been releasing a lot of old items and items that previously weren't released. We've had the Void Within plot all year, lots of merchandise collaborations, and generally TNT is really excited to engage the community that's saying with open arms, hey Neopets, we're still here too, let's all celebrate together. One of my favorite things that's happened with the Neopets re-releases and changes is the trading card game revival. I'm so sorry to get you hooked, but it's good. The cards are good, the art is good, the gameplay is pretty good. I'm sorry to your wallets, but like genuinely worth investing in these beautiful cards. Like, aren't these cute? Right? Community artists are doing a lot of the work. There's some great holographics. I think this is a really good thing with the trading card. Who here was a trading card person back in like 2004, 2005 for Neopets? I loved that part of the site. Another big success was the birthday bashes. Neopets had fans organize birthday bashes all around. There were 40 cities and 13 countries who showed up to host their own Neopets birthday celebration. Here's me with our Lord and Savior, dead Chia, at the Baltimore birthday bash. We had a wheel of excitement. We had these adorable 3D printed Neopets. We hosted an online base. Lanny was an incredible host for the Baltimore location. We had Neopets fans repping all around the world. I loved the recreations of site games. The UK folks did pottery, which is so cute. Lots of great cosplay. I'm kind of obsessed with the tier list. I'm very offended that both Quiggles and Kikos are in E and F tier because I love them.
The Kikos belong there.
I'm sorry. But it was really great to see, again, some of my favorite fellow Neo fursuiters. I think everyone knows Bright, the Rainbow Cougar, but it was really great to see this show up all around the country and the world to celebrate Neopets. So one of the biggest changes.
So we finally got the ability to purchase with real-world money unconverted Neopets in a way that was not through the dark web. I want to get people who have not played Neopets. How much do you think this guy was going for on the dark web? Not the actual dark web, but like neopoints.com. I hear 100. I hear 100. 2,000? 1,000? 200.
You're all wrong.
Yeah, you're all wrong. It was like $60. But if you're trying to make money and you can make other pixels look like those pixels instead for $15, it works. So
we'll
it's
get
been a
into
good year.
The Neopets unconverted pets were pets that the art style had until about 2007. We'll talk about the history. But after 2007, you couldn't make pets in the old art style. And this was life-ruining for some people. The black market was sustained by people trying to use these pets created before 2007 and trade it around, and it became a massive problem with the head in the last couple years. One of the ways this was combated was TNT decided to re-release NC-UCs. This is your ICSI. These are some of my pets here. What that means is UC skins, the old art style, are now a skin that can be taken on and off. They used to have monetary value that was decided by the black market or player value in 10 tiers that felt really arbitrary that we voted on. It was bad. But we had a 10-tier system. It was bad. Now the value of these things are determined by how they are re-released. It is player regulated. In order to get one of these, there are the Styling Studios kits. Basically, to pick exactly which one you want for a Neopet, it's about $14. To gamble on the available colors for a pet, it's about $6. This is really reasonable. Some UC pets were going for $400. This is really great to stop that problem. So I really think that this solved that black market issue, which is pretty rad. Look at how cute some of this art is. Some of these are old, some of these are new, but suddenly I'm looking at Ghost Yusel and Ghost Kiko like, do I need a Ghost Kiko? I do. But they've been adding not only the prismatic, or these colors for the ones that were well-known, but giving a lot of love to Neopets colors that I think weren't being celebrated before. They've also added prismatics at the bottom. Those operate like dye works and are color variations and are also really, really cute. So this, I think, is a really great addition to the site, and shout out to the TNT team that has been making this possible.
All right, so we are going on year 4 of being allowed to be gay on Neopets.com.
4 years gay!
4 years! So, of course, we're following the rules. My Neopets aren't going to be dating. They're not going to be in relationships. I would never do that. But they can be bisexual. I can have my pronouns on my page, unlike in some places now. But LGBTQ content has been going really good. They've been adding a lot of updates. They've been added, like the big, like Umbra, what's her? She's like the mastermind behind painting our pets with the unconverted styles is non-binary explicitly.
Lutari baddie.
Lutari. It's really cool.
Lutari baddie.
Yeah. And there's a lot of wearables. In the advent calendar last year, there's been continuity. We had some gay dads who adopted a son. And then this year, the son adopted a pet, and it was really, really cute. What I care about mostly, though, is... Hang on. Yeah, these guys! Okay.
Our girls, the ladies.
So this is Illison and Jadora, who, like, there's been some discourse, because at one point there was... We don't need to talk about that. They're just still not canon, but they really are acting every year like they're about to be canon with all this art. There was a part of like a Void Within tie-in to the Fairy Festival where they literally did a duet together, and Jadora said, quote, "You could think of others' feelings."
Oh no, but we don't talk anymore. We have to sing together like girls.
So they literally sang together, and they sang about how nothing could bring back what they had, which is very like kind of being like best friends with your ex, like, and being in a situationship, then sliding back, but then not talking to each other because your ex is a dark fairy, but...
As you do. So we're waiting for the lore reveal, but like, come on, girls. Like, this is official art.
And this is official art from before when you were allowed to talk about LGBTQ content on Neopets. They have been dangling this for a while, and it is fun to see, but I'm ready for it to be canon, but it's fine. I just feel like I'm on Tumblr again, like watching my show. Anyway, it's a really fun deep dive if you want to go and look into some of the spicier art people have made. There is a lot. It is good.
All right, so moving along, we're going to talk a little bit about The Void Within. The Void Within was really pitched as this big part of the 25th anniversary, and it's been received with mixed opinions, but for the most part, I think is a really welcome part of adding content back onto Neopets and making it feel a little bit more like the olden days. This is a chaotic collage, but to give some overview thoughts, I really like how it's been engaging with the site, changing the landscape, graying out the maps. I'm kind of obsessed with, instead of making dead ghost cult sand gray, they made the obelisk gray? Is that how that works? I love it. I'm obsessed with Ozzy, the lovely gray yerbil. Don't you want to just squeeze him? He looks like a wet Persian cat, and I would do anything for him. I really love seeing a lot of returning characters. They're bringing back a lot of the cast. So Vera, #1 baddie, is here. We've got excellent characters like Tavi. We've got Junie, the beloved Faylee, hanging out there. There's been some misses. I don't love that the Void Worm is just this Snow Ager asset colored purple. Womp womp, I get it. Voidworks and Cozy Campfire both were broken on release, but then got fixed for the most part. If there's anywhere where you're going to hear complaints about Neopets, it is on Neopets Nation.
This is the reason I'm keeping Facebook. It's for Neopets Nation.
Neopets Nation. And the one issue with Neopets Nation, although the Void plot is great and it's adding a lot of content, it is daily content. It is plot points that you rack up over doing tasks every day. And on top of daily quests, other daily activities, suddenly 5 minutes of dailies is 3 hours of clicking grinds and arthritis in your fingers, and it does need a little bit of dialing back. So I went to the worst place on Neopets, the site events board, and I've collected from site events the collective complaints, but please believe me, the plot is wonderful. I'm having a great time. This is from the grumpiest of the grumps on the site. The task list for the plot, too repetitive, too many clickables. The prize shop has great options, but people can see what they're going to win. They get enough points to buy the one thing they want, and then they stop doing the plot, that's not fun. Do the plot properly. Tea Time with Tavi broke inflation of baked goods for like a week. Not great. Cozy Campfire Collection, the coding is not great, and it does not award prizes half the time. I wish Tavi looked like a Kiri. Voidworks was broken, the Battle Dome's a lot, and it's paced a little weird. But here's the thing is this is people who expect everything from a site that is just now getting back in its groove. It's improving.
Because Neopets was really affected by Flash end-of-lifing because the entire site was pretty much built on Flash. So for years, it really didn't seem like we were going to even get more Neopets. So it's been awesome to see a continuation. And then them also, I love the messing with the format, breaking the site on purpose. But I have questions about this hospital because, what business does Mr. Toilet have volunteering in the Neopets hospital?
So to give some context, there is a reoccurring activity where you have your pet volunteer at the hospital for 6-hour shifts. Basically, our Neopets are working full days, 24-hour work days at the hospital for the war. Millions injured. And so from, again, the Facebook, the unionization calls for our overworked Neopets, which I think is pretty funny.
Also a plea for please let us get more sleep because there were some people saying, hey, I can't get a full night's sleep because I can't sleep for enough time without waking up to get max points. Every 6 hours. It's like they're feeding a baby or something, but they're switching out the pet slots. Bad game design, but I'm here for it because I'm not trying to get max points, so I'm just here for the drama. Also, as somebody who has been in hospitals, I have questions about why the volunteers are getting hospital gowns. Why are the volunteers getting backgrounds? But I do love the backgrounds, and they've used this also as a way to introduce some accessibility items, so the service pets, but then there's also just a bunch of junk items and stuff that feels a little bit strange, like therapeutic swamp water. I'm not sure what that is for.
So moving along so we can get to the history component, something interesting about the Advent calendar this year is TNT is making a push to reward premium users with more perks around the sites for the things that they do for helping support. And for this year, it meant that we got an additional prize each day with the Advent calendar. As a premium member, I was so happy. I was feeling like this, very much like, hello. It was a good day for us. This did cause a little bit of drama, as there is always conversations about pay-to-play elements on the site. Daddy Altador here was a prize exclusive to premium members. That made the stamp community a little prickly, but for the most part, I think it's really great to see more things being rolled out. TNT also said that for the Neopia Awards coming up, premium users will also get additional prizes. So it's kind of cool to be recognized for helping out the site.
I will say it did get me. I tried to sign up for premium for the month. The page didn't load right, so then I didn't, but I almost did. So this is just one example of some stuff that's been going on with the economy, with stamps. So Jelly Neo has an index of prices that have been reported of what items are going for, so you can see the graphical data of how Neopets has broken its own economy to make more people play, to make it more fun for the masses.
Gaia Online could never.
So you do have conundrums. This stamp went from being worth 600 million Neopoints, so half of a billion Neopoints, to being worth a measly 7 million. And then this also causes other stamps in the albums to go up, and it makes it harder for people to trade. And then you have people in Neopets Nation saying, how much should I try to sell my $1 billion stamp for? Nobody wants to buy it for 1 billion Neopoints. It's
The TLDR is, it's awesome that stamps are being re-released,
yes,
but the stamp market is in shambles and is incredibly unstable right now. Our economy is a mess. You lost so much. I'm so sorry.
So
before
sorry.
we jump to Neopets history, we're going to talk a little bit about our favorites and our flops from some recent merchandise. I love most of what's being put out, but we wanted to highlight some bests and some not favorites from this group.
All right. So my favorites are mostly things that are silly or enable me to be silly. My favorite thing that's coming out is the tabletop RPG that's going to be back. Yeah. So there's also like a guidebook with a quest for the fairies, the fairy plot line. I don't remember because I only did the low tier because you can raise it later. So I'm going to see how much money I have at that point. I also love the food collabs that they've been doing. So Neopets has done one with an energy drink, which is really silly. We were like, why is that happening? But I'm here for it. And then just this week, they put out these cardigans, which are really cute. And they're also in a really nice price point range, I think. They're about like $60, which brings me to my not so faves. So I have been trying to get one of the $30 blind boxes of the plushies everywhere. So at Hot Topic, and I go to Hot Topic. It had been a long day. They don't have this, but what they have is my consolation prize, a $9.99 sticker pack. So like a fool, I paid $9.99 for these 3 like stock art stickers. I can't even find the ones at Five Below. It has been a rough time to find Neopets merch that is randomly being released at like Five Below, Hot Topic, Cakeworthy, not Cakeworthy. The Cakeworthy one's been fine, but there have been some frustrations with rollout from people like me who want stuff. Another fail is this plushie, just because I'm mad that people could order this online and get it sent to their door, and I cannot find the plushie at Hot Topic that I want. And then there is also a shirt that had, I would say, like an attention to detail. It's like a little lacking with that part of this collab. It didn't have the highlight on the eyes. My friend ordered this, and we were both really excited for these designs because they're great designs, they're nostalgic, but the printing error for a $35 shirt, not so good.
So some of my favorites I like a lot, which is a terrible thing for me. I really like the Cakeworthy collab. I think that referencing the website component of Neopets, the nostalgia on that with the old art is awesome. There's a lot of adorable pins. I'm a really big fan of these lenticular pins of the games. It shows off some of the fun flash game aspects that people might remember. I think that's a great collection. I love that Christmas ornament. I love the blind box plushies. And I love a lot of these limited art prints that are either the Judora was a limited art print and then the other one was a blanket. My fails for me, there was a lot of trouble with the Christmas cracker rollout. They were not satisfying for the customers, and they came after Christmas. I'm not big on do you have the It's My Passion bag? It's so cute, but I cannot tell it's Neopets from a distance, and it's like $80. I think it would be cuter if it had been a more recognizable or yellow design. And then I'm obsessed with the terrible before they had the art of that Zweetalk. I love this, this is my anniversary OC. It's a fairy Zweetalk, but it's not. So I don't like any of the merch with it. I'm sorry. Anyway. Before we jump into the Neopets history, because we are about to get really early 2000s with it, we want to take a moment for our Lord and Savior, Dead Chia, and also to help explain Dead Chia to those who weren't in the know. Dead Chia has been the collective meme of Neopets for a long time. It was very popular on Neopets Tumblr. It comes from this caption contest art of this lovely Chia. I have a friend on the art team who was like, hey, what's the lore with Dead Chia? Just checking it's appropriate. And then a couple months later, we had the incredible rollout with October's Dead Chia gift box, Dead Chia mystery capsule, Dead Chia background, Dead Chia. It was a theme for our trick-or-treat bags this year. We have an avatar. They put it in the mobile game. I'm obsessed with Dead Chia.
I also love that we can say Dead Chia, but you can't say the word uncle. Okay.
Neopets. I don't know.
Neopets.
All right, so we are about to get pretty rapid fire on a section we call 25 Years of Neopets History in 25 Minutes. We're going to have a little quick, this is a minor flashing warning. We're going to show you a video that Neopets used to advertise itself around the year 2001. You may or may not, I guess the audio isn't coming through, but what you're missing here in the lack of audio, it's like lo-fi beats to talk about your Neopets too. Doesn't this make you want to log on to an HTML website? Yes. I'm so sad that that didn't stick around as the subtitle of Neopets. No, we don't need that again.
Okay.
Okay, so we're about to get really fast. What we're going to do for each slide is we're going to give you about 20 seconds of pop culture. What was happening in the rest of the world during this year? And then I'm going to give you about 30 seconds of what was happening on Neopets. So you can remember where you were compared to where we were on neopets.com starting in the year 1999.
All right, raise your hand if you remember 1999. Oh man, I'm old. Okay, so dawn of the millennium. A lot of us had our first experiences with gaming through computers. I did not have a system until 2005. The internet was barely there. Computers looked like this. Lunchables were doing cool stuff.
So 1999, in November, Neopets finally officially opened. Opened by our now estranged creators, Adam and Donna, who we no longer speak of. They had a vision for an online virtual pet site in an era before that really meant anything. Please look at the beautiful copyright registration for neopets.com. At this time, Neopets didn't have an identity yet. We had pets like the Badique, country singer Macy Gray. This is definitely not Sonic the Hedgehog. It also was a website where the pet Jub Jub was called the Jib Jib. Big Daddy Grub was known to have murdered at least 2 Neopets. It was a lawless environment that was yet to find its identity.
2000, we have survived the Y2K bug. DeviantArt is founded, and banger album Kid A is released by Radiohead. Thank you. Dora the Explorer is coming out. Children's TV is a really big market. Children are also being used for marketing soon on neopets.com.
So year 2000, Neopets is starting to very, very quickly gain users. Neopets is novel. It's a unique feature on the website. It's using this NP logo and doesn't have much of its own identity. You can find links to it as banner ads on people's GeoCities website and forums. And a lot of the pets had this beautiful classic, the gradient art style. This was the era of unicorn pets, some of the earliest Halloween costumes. I think it's really cool that in the official news, Neopets was shouting out guilds for hosting Christmas events because the community was so small and unformed and ununionized that the fan base was really making the culture at this time.
So 2001 is when Final Fantasy X came out, which I tried to play like 5 years ago. And
quiet in the crowd, babes, quiet in the crowd.
All right, we've got Invader Zim. We've got the iPod, which feels incorrect, but the first iPod by Apple did come out in 2001.
So Neopets starts to do its first brand collaborations around this time with Bubble Yum. They're starting to do test audiences, and in California, they launch a trial run of some plushies, including this lovely yellow Chia, alive and joyful. We have some of our first early site events, including the murder mystery Ski Lodge, where TNT members are killed for our enjoyment. We have some of the earlier plots with the usurpers, the destruction of Tyrania. We had Grundo's gym that breaks during renovations and never comes back online. We have some of the most iconic items like the fishnegs. By this point, internet memes like the all your base Kugra shopkeeper are being added. The Pikachu Eater is this green creature, and it's on the Gallery of Evil, later replaced by the Pikachu Eater silhouette. And we start to get things like Virtue Bets and the old game room, and the theme park feature is removed. Speaking of 2001, please look at this incredibly nothing to see here, everyone. So let us get serious with you for a moment about 9/11, please.
So I want everybody to remember that, like, I was in first grade in 2001, and this is the kind of art that I would have made in first grade in 2001. And it's really cool seeing these in earnest, but do they feel weird now to look at?
It's weird because, like, Neopets is an international site. It was not just English-speaking users. And yet these were winners voted on by the community, probably children with their first MS Paint, memorializing feelings of 2001. And that is something that I just have to appreciate. Anyway, speaking of towers, we get the first instance of the Hidden Tower, and this is what Neopets guides used to look like back in the day. Screenshot, username on the bottom, MS Paint. And I think it's important to remember where we started. We're gonna watch a quick trailer. This was the lovely Battle Dome trailer. Again, another masterful Flash animation here. R.I.P. Flash. This is a time where Pokemon is one of the most important IPs in the world. And I feel like you can sense a little bit of that energy
Notice
in this
the color of this cute little Pikachu-shaped animal.
Animated squirrel creature. Have pity on my son. Also, this is a YouTube comment I found while I was looking for this video, and I cried when I read it. Don't you love Growls? Aren't they your favorite Neopet?
The thing about that red guy, if people don't know this,
they're Lainey's favorite. Oh my God, sorry.
So you can feed stuff to them on accident, literally anything. So you can feed them a morphing potion instead of turning them into the thing. And I have lost very expensive items being stupid by feeding them to a girl that was my lab rat. So interesting game design there.
I apologize. Lainey is our known Grawl enjoyer.
They're okay.
Look at them, iconic. Oh, yes. Sheaths his sword. What a hero! All right, 2002.
In 2002, Avril Lavigne releases Let Go, creating emo music. What a queen. The first Harry Potter movie comes out, Spider-Man's coming out with stuff, Kingdom Hearts comes out. Good time.
Neopets is starting to form identity. This is Dead Chia celebrating with us from year 4. This is a year that a lot of site features start to be added. We start to get the battle for Meridel. We get Lord Darrigan and everything with that battle, which of course Darrigan won that war. Go Darrigans. We get the introduction of the Tax Beast and Vera to the site for the first time. Those are the first plushy pets. You're able to pledge your allegiance to which side of the war you want to be on. Elucin is looking great in this time. And Neopets plushies are starting to be available at Limited 2 on a much more regular basis. Limited 2 plushies! Releasing them. It also is when the seasonal Attack P, which actually came out before the Super Attack P, is added to the site. While I was digging, please look at this. At one point in 2002, the 9 layers of the Plains of Hell of Neopia were listed. What? I'm obsessed.
2003, we start to get some experimentation with cell phones. Nokia comes out with this thing which is for gaming, despite the fact that you could play the best game ever, Neopets.com, with your desktop computer, or you could play Pokemon Ruby, which had just come out. Hey Ya comes out, Song of the Summer, and video games are continuing to do pretty well. Media in like the post 9/11 era is like a lot of companies don't want to do stuff that is too intense. They want to keep things light, but we do still got a lot of stuff that I'm very nostalgic for this time.
So 2003 was a year for a lot of site features as well. Bochi, who could turn your pet into a baby, is added, making us all afraid for our expensive pets forever. We get the first snow pets, pirate pets, Moroccan pets, and the introduction of the Drake, making us all feel very poor. We have a couple additional plots. We have the Neopets with a Z, featuring Nick Neopia, April Fool's Prank. Pets like the Mocher added. The jelly? That's not jelly. I don't know what that is. That's not on the site. Don't worry about it. And we also have the Neopets magazines. I brought some from home. Who had these? I loved these. Neopets magazines. Long before we had reliable internet guides, you were getting Game Informer, you were getting Nintendo Power, you were getting this in your little room, and you felt knowledgeable. And that was a really iconic part of this era. I just took some pictures from the art gallery at this time. This is 2003 is when they start archiving the art gallery. And I just love the energy of illustrations going on in 2003. Take me back here.
2004 musically was amazing. We got not just American Idiot, but also Shrek 2. Still have those CDs to this day. The PSP and the original Nintendo DS both come out. And my home computer looks like that.
It is a great time to be a kid. Judora's Cloud quests are more active. The site looks like that. Snot pets and gray pets are added. The Rookie, the Yerbil, and the Bori are added. For a limited time, you can get yourself a Jamba Juice Tiger Fruit smoothie as a collaboration. Do it again, TNT. Do it again, do it again, do it again. What was that? Crueldor is added to the site. We get a lot of the medieval fantasy elements being updated. The pets, the old aquatic pets get a rework. This is the year of the McDonald's plushies at McDonald's. Let's go! Neopets releases Pet morphing potions, and then hours later was like, mistake. Pet morphing potions were a mistake and we'll never do them. And a lot of fan sites are starting to pop up at this time. It is also a weird year for advertising. We're going to show you an ad for Cocoa Roller and then a McDonald's ad. This was a real ad, and I want you to think, does this make me want to buy this product?
It's kind of better without sound, actually.
It's playing a terrible two-note tune over this. So yeah, no wonder anybody has Cocoa Roller avatar, because what the hell was that? And then this one is, I fear, made worse by the lack of music. But this lovely hamster is playing piano like a virtuoso. He is bleeding for your affection. He wants you to pay attention. And the fact that I need this on a shirt now. This was McDonald's branding for Neopets. Unfortunately for some, the Neopets are here. Yeah, unfortunately for my parents and their money. As a quick time capsule, this is a look at the boards here on the right in the year 2004, and everyone's like, bye, I'm quitting. I think it would be cool if TNT restarted. Don't change your password. Feather Alley, who has still been hacked in modern day, is being hacked. Like nothing has changed. Neopets is a circle.
So guilds were one of the things that I was really active in on Neopets. My previous co-panelist, Michaela, shout out Michaela, did Warrior Cats roleplay on Neopets. We love to see it. You could also have themed guilds for other stuff, and it really encouraged people to learn how to do HTML coding out of nowhere before MySpace. So if you were on Neopets before MySpace, you were ahead of the curve when it came to those pages. 2005 was the year of the gamer. Woo!
The gamer!
Xbox 360 is released, Pokemon is on Emerald, and Nickelodeon releases Avatar: The Last Airbender. Another thing to celebrate, yeah.
The big thing happening in 2005 is that Viacom, who also owned Nickelodeon, obtains Neopets for $160 million. This does two things. It tells Neopets that you have funding now, and it sets the precedent for Club Penguin to be bought for $380 million only 2 years later. There is money in virtual pet sites. This is a year with the Curse of Maraqua plot. The mysterious lever is added. Dr. Sloth is up to more no good with his tax. The Kiri is redesigned. We get the Darkest Fairy video game. Woo! Moderators can finally lock topics on the Neo board. It took till 2005. This is the year of the iconic April Fool's Day that gave us pets like the Varwolf, a design that fan sites have been recreating ever since, and gave us one of the greatest love plots in Neopets history. Okay, we're gonna skip this for time, but the Darkest Fairy has a great video you can watch. This would take an hour to explain. Yes, Neopets was briefly owned in conjunction to Scientology because their parent organization, unbeknownst to TNT, operated under Scientology structure and then was quickly phased out. There was never any Scientology on Neopets.com. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. This is the hill I die on.
2006. If you had asked me if Cars, The Black Parade, High School Musical, and Death Note came out in the same year, I would say absolutely not. And the Wii, and the iPod Nano second or third generation. Yeah, it was a very formative year. And I will say, this is the year I was entering middle school, so this is my landmark for these.
Neopets has money, and you can feel it. For a lot of people, this is a peak year of Neopets. We've got some photos of staff members dressing up for their Halloween party. This is what the site layout looks like. Lutaris are added to the site with the limited release of Neopets Mobile, a mobile app that gave a couple people Lutari Island and nobody else. Island Berry Crunch cereal collaboration happens. The first Artist Day Off happens. We get the introduction of the Altador Cup. And it's generally a year with a lot of content for the site. If you're a fan of Neopets, you're on fan sites like this, looking up PNGs of Neopets on sites other than Neopets. Your favorite artists are doing weekly comics in the Neopian Times, and Karina of Drawfee is talking about making perfect pet pages in HTML. It's a beautiful time.
2007 sees the Bee movie, something that still affects us to this day. The first iPhone is released, but a lot of phones are more so looking like the one to the left. Pokemon Pearl comes out, rhythm games are doing well, Guitar Hero is an amazing seller, and Wheel of Slime has Aang from Avatar The Last Airbender, so he is on Neopets. Weird connection there.
This is a pretty weird time to be a Neopets fan because this is truly the fumble of the century, and we'll get to that in a second. Again, Wheel of Slime, there's still a lot of advergaming going on. The Pound mysteriously closes. This is the era of the notable Neopet, which used to be a fun feature where you would screenshot someone else's pet and be like, hey, oh my God, you were notable, here's a picture for you. And you kind of felt recognized. This is the year of the NeoVision being retired, zombie pets are added. And then 26th of April, we log on to the website. There is this meepet that says, you are not prepared, and it is the beginning of the end. In the Neopets world, this is known as the conversion. This is our canon event. And this is the introduction of the NC Mall dress-up component, the customization elements. In order to make that viable, they had to take all of these different poses and make them into two standardized forms. Quadruped on the ground and animal holding like this.
And I will say this was good overall because prior to this, Neopets' main avenue was selling children's marketing data, like making kids take surveys for Neopoints and then selling that. There are a lot of research papers about how that was questionably ethical. So this is probably a better way of making money.
I love it.
And also it's really fun to dress up my Neopet.
But can we acknowledge that these are major design downgrades? Look what they did to my boy. Look what they did to my boy. Who quit after the website made this change? I understand.
We're going
to skip this, but there's a lovely ad shaming you into buying NC. I also wanted to recognize in this era something beautiful called Crocs with ears. This was the peak era of, before there were deviant art closed species, there was the Croc. And if you were cool and you had a Croc, your Croc had ears and emo hair. And I just wanted to shout out, I loved this. I was so inspired by this. My own Crocs up there. This was an artist culture that furries never recovered from.
2010, we see the Twilight movie, which Neopets did not. Neopets did something with Twilight later. We'll talk about that later. Lady Gaga's The Fan comes out. Super Smash Brothers Brawl comes out. And Neopets is trudging along. I drew that picture up there of my Neopet who later got pregnant.
2008, Pound release is introduced, bringing pets that were stuck in the closed Pound. The Pound closed for conversion so you wouldn't throw all your pets out, but then opened back up around this time. The Neo Homes 2.0 were opened so you could make cute rooms. This is a Burger King toy collaboration. They take the orange spots off the purple pets. We get some more Cruel Door and Virtue Pets themed activities. You could have an email that was like your name at neomail.com, like Gmail. Like they had an email server for premium users at this time. And KeyQuest was introduced. Oh, KeyQuest. Rest in peace. This is also the era of my fixation, which is the canceled MMO, Tales of Neopia. This was a beautiful in-development MMO that Neopets worked on from about 2008 to 2010 before cancellation. It would have been so good. This is my lost media arc.
I feel like a common theme of Neopets is them creating really cool projects and then not following through on them, but then they do still follow through on them. But that's why I'm like, this TTRPG, is it going to happen? Please let it happen.
It's going to be so good.
It's going to be so good. 2009, iPod Classic. I have one. It was great. We need to rapid fire through these next
We're going to
decade.
start just going,
Yeah.
look at the pop culture, go, ooh, and I'm going to tell you about Neopets. 2009, 10th birthday celebration, fairy festivals added. They add Pet Pet Park, and there is an MAGFest, the first of the NEG festivals. This is the year that Twilight New Moon comes out, and the Neo boards are fed up. So moderation adds filters, meaning that if you type any of these words, it gets changed to the following Neopets themed words. So if your name is Jacob, no, your name is Jordy, deal with it. Also, when the Halloween Talk was released, it is a vampire, and only in making this slide did I make the connection that it's probably because of this, which kind of rocks. 2010 is the introduction of transparent pets changing Neocache customization forever. That's my Skeeth I drew way back as a baby with a tablet that was awful to adopt. Relic pets are added, Eudora gets a redesign, Grams are added, Save the Wheel. And this is the year of the best Neopets plot, hands down, The Fairies Ruin. Still holds up, it's a banger, love Xandra, so good.
I do want to point out that I learned Despicable Me and Don't Ask, Don't Tell was repealed in the same year, and Mass Effect 2 came out. So just time is a weird time. 2011, 3DS comes out, Skyrim, Pokemon Black.
Habitarium is a passive game inspired by Facebook Farmville and clickable games, letting you get passive income. There is a brief game called Treasure Keepers, also Facebook. That was an attempt at kind of a shopkeeper game. Labs are redone, Wraith Pets released, and this is the year that we could all afford Crocs and Drakes because a daily event made them accessible to us. 2012, we got what was known as the first Purge. For those unaware, the Purge was a database cleansing when old pets and accounts were deleted, making that names were re-available to make. People stayed up, made lists of the accounts that they wanted dead so that they could take the pet names, and they have been running a continuous Purge board since 2012. We're on board 3,100, and actually more than this at this point. Stealthy pets are added, Cruel Door wins the Altador Cup, the Battle Dome is revamped and reworked, and the fairies change as far as bottled fairies.
2013, Let It Go is created. Doge.
Flight Rising does its great Kickstarter and is almost immediately funded. This is the era of Super Hulock. The Smurfs are on Neopets. Neopets has its first data breach. Whoops. 20 million accounts because information was saved in plain text documents. There's the War for the Obelisk, which was a great plot. There's a supernatural-inspired site event. And I finally get my Darrigan Kiri after all these years. Yes. 2014 is the beginning of the end, as we are entering what is called the Jumpstart era. Jumpstart mismanages the Neopets IP for many years. There is the infamous PC blacklist that happens. KeyQuest is killed and lost in the server transition, giving us the Neopocalypse. We lose a lot of site events. 2015 is a dark time.
It's a really good year for gay people who like cartoons and pop music, though.
And it's a bad year for Neopets. Because the site staff changed, there's not a lot of site artists, giving us assets such as uncolored, transparent Ogren, stolen fan art Jub Jub, whatever that Pio-Fin was before they fixed it, Trudy's Surprise, and what is known to many as the Day of Sin.
The Neopocalypse happens over a weekend where there is no staff because a lot of staff was laid off.
Jumpstart staff not moderating the boards led to everyone realizing the filters were broken and all hell broke loose.
And people were posting these on their accounts that were like 15 years old. Just everybody was very done at this point, and it was a day of freedom. Reckless freedom, for better and worse.
Oh, sorry, I'll leave it up for 10, 9, take your pictures, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2016, the site is in bad shape. Your account was frozen from the data leak.
That made me so mad. I emailed TNT for years, like every 6 months. I was like, can I have my account back?
So the data leak happened again. They were like, sorry, the passwords were still in plain text again. It's not a good time for Neopets asset. You had to pay money for that Jub Jub skirt. Not good. 2017, as you can see from this Jelly Neo screenshot, even Jelly Neo's like, nothing happened. Nothing happened. Race resurgence happens, giving us an okay plot. We get some excellent new colors. TNT, please release the Marshmallow Kugra. This is my request. 2018, we get the introduction of the premium perks for premium users. Only in the year 2018 did we up the shop limit to be almost 1 million. We have another couple side events. There is an excellent charity corner letting you get old site themes, and Club Penguin Island flops, killing the Club Penguin brand.
In 2018 also, there was the first version of this panel, which was about the rise and fall of Neopets, how Neopets taught me to lie and made me a furry. Also, people like podcasts. This is a fun Neopets podcast that started in 2018. It's at like 200 episodes. I have not listened to many, but it's very lovely if you want to hear a deep dive into like old Neopets items, into just what people are thinking about speculations. They talk about how there is one car in Neopets, and it belongs to Nigel the Chia. It's a lot of good lore.
2019, Neopets is starting to get on the right track. They do an excellent week called Neo Creation, encouraging engagement on social media. They're starting to engage a lot more at San Diego Comic Cons and do player events. There is a Marie Kondo-inspired charity corner, and they introduce a kind of mid-mobile game that only lasts a couple years. 2020 is the legacy of Wife Miss, aka when a bunch of users bullied TNT into letting us be allowed to talk about being gay on Neopets after a series of freezings over a Christmas gift event. We are no longer able to exploit the glitch with foreign neocash. You used to be able to pay someone in Brazil $7 for $20 worth of neocash. Someone snitched in 2020. I know, the worst. The beta theme is introduced, and this is the beginning of us starting to fight about the metaverse. They also announced a TV show that does not happen. 2021 is us fighting with the old Neopets staff. They really wanted the metaverse. They really wanted NFTs. Not a good year. Everything is broken. Flash isn't working, but they do finally allow us to have pet slots. 2022, things are also kind of messy. The Fairy's Hope is actually a great game added on. There is another data leak, and our user info is held ransom for, I think, 4 Bitcoin. They were like, we'll give you the data back for 4 Bitcoin. Nobody paid the ransom, so.
Important to note, the guy giving the middle finger is Adam, one of the original creators of Neopets. It's an amazing thing to read about. He said he was upset people weren't buying into his new like cryptocurrency dragon game, but nobody cares about him.
Anyway, he said that we're all losers and that he's going to buy the website and that he regrets making Neopets. So, you know, that is my friend's BC entry that was on the news page because it won in protest of the NFTs. This is the Chombussy incident. I'm not even going to get into Chombussy, but this was the Chombussy incident. 2013, things are doing pretty good. We get our brand ambassador of questionable note. Valentine's Day pets are finally released. Daily quests are added, and Neopets finally becomes independently managed. Yay! Rest in peace, Jumpstart, but you mismanaged the brand pretty bad. A lot of things have recovered, and the community ambassadors are adding, bringing us almost to the present, where we're going to talk about the last couple years. 2014, things are really good. I genuinely think we're in a really good era to be a Neopets fan. Things are being fixed. Punching Bag Sid's avatar worked again for the first time in like 15 years. The Tooth Fairy is finally back. We've gotten lots of new items. They did the Wheel of Celebration. Chadley came back for an activity. The Void Within, you get tall Altador. A lot of great customizations. It's a really good time to be a Neopets fan. Quality of life is improving a lot. Neopets innovated. They had web storage like Google Drive before Google Drive existed. They had emails like Gmail. We didn't know what the internet would be like in 2002, and Neopets said, I'm going to be 4 steps ahead of you.
So this is also one of my favorite parts of Neopets.
To start to get to our end segment.
So a problem with sharing your Neopets customs, and this happens constantly on Reddit, is that people will be like, hey, here's Frogstitute. And then people will report that because people love reporting other people having fun. Somebody on Reddit just said, show me what you can make. These were not necessarily on the site, but this snowball looks this bad on every pet. It looks like that. It is not just the koi.
This is what the bored stoner moms of Neopets Nation are doing with their time.
This is what is happening. This was a good moment that I had on the internet where somebody who has since deleted their account drew fan art for a tweet. Some old man Yowie.
All right.
It's a good time.
So with the last couple minutes of our time, and we'll have a little beat over as we start to leave, Lainey is going to help us give out some awards for cosplays. If you have a Neopets-inspired cosplay or outfit, please come to the front. Lainey is going to give out prizes and decide our winner, and also just tell you you look good. We have prizes if you dressed up. If you dressed up for Neopets, come get a prize. Come to us, come to us. Yeah. If you have a Neopets outfit, if you dressed up for Neopets, come get a prize.
All right. While we have people coming up here, after this, we're going to do a mini meetup down by the fountain. There is a clown meetup happening there, too. So if you see clowns, you're near the right place.
Yes, if you want to hang out, if you want to talk about Neopets, if you wish to get a drink afterwards, we have some Neopets friends.
We have so much more to say about Neopets.
You're almost a Fuzzy-O, but I'm not giving you a pass.
You're not a Neopets.
Get out of here. We had an IP issue with that. Get out of here. I'm not kidding.
Real quick, I see some other Neopets outfits.
Yes, if you're brave enough, we have prizes.
If you're wearing Neopets stuff, just come up.
Neopets merch. If you're repping a Neopets-inspired fit, come here. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for coming to hang out with us.
Honestly, I think everyone, yeah.
Feed your Neopets.